Welcome to Food, Wine, and Whiskey, a podcast about having fun conversations on tasty dishes, vinos, and spirits from around the world. Rob is your host. He is an avid home chef, WSET Level 2 award in wine, and a whiskey drinker and collector. Time to set the table. Here's Rob.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey, and I've got my cohort back. Carter, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm good.
This is going to be a fun show. This is something you and I have talked about for a while. I don't think we eat a lot of breakfast sandwiches on a regular basis, but
we've talked about them before.
But we've talked about them, and we have some opinions on what we think are the best ones. And you know, it's kind of funny because when you have those talks, it might be, you know, right after you ate a particular sandwich or recently had a sandwich, and never side by side where you can really kind of honestly compare them to one another. And that's kind of what we're doing today.
Right, exactly. And I'm excited about this because I think breakfast sandwiches are pretty iconic in the fast food world.
Is this an American thing? If you travel, do they have a version of a breakfast sandwich in other countries?
I'm sure they do.
Okay,
because they have McDonald's in other countries, right?
Oh, yeah, they do. They do. But do they have a breakfast sandwich? Do they have the egg McMuffin in it?
I think they do. I remember going to Ireland and going to McDonald's and them having an egg McMuffin.
Okay.
That was a few years ago, but I do remember that happening.
So on this episode, we're going to go through, what I did was I did a little research. I pulled up, you know, there's lots of lists and there's lots of opinions on what are the best fast food breakfast sandwiches. And for me, fast food, one, has to have a drive-through. And two, it can't be kind of a specialty shop. And the reason I'm saying that is there were a couple of lists that, not in the top 5, but it was listed, like Starbucks sandwich. And to me, that's more of
I feel like that's borderline.
Yeah, you know, if you're going to and I know we might not call Starbucks a specialty coffee house anymore, but I think if you ask
their coffee's crap.
Yeah, if you ask them, they're going to say they're a specialty coffee shop. So therefore, if you're a specialty coffee shop or kind of a boutique shop, your pastries, your sandwiches, your things should be elevated, should be a little bit better. So I don't have them in this list. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, so I'd equate it to, you know, we've talked about this before, fast food hamburgers and Five Guys.
Yeah, two different things.
I think Five Guys does have a few drive-thrus. Not every store is a drive-thru.
Yeah.
But I would not classify Five Guys in the fast food hamburger category.
I put them a tier above.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would too.
Unfortunately, the same can't be said for the breakfast sandwich from Starbucks.
Yes.
I do not put them a tier ahead.
Well, I don't know that I don't even know that I've had it.
I have.
Is it good?
Not good.
That's a shame.
I don't it's not a huge sample size. I've only had it a couple of times.
Okay.
But each time they were consistently bad. So I'm assuming that's the standard at Starbucks. But, you know, maybe I need to have a bigger sample size.
I think I had, you know, I do when I'm, most days of the week I do a keto diet. One day I have a cheat day.
Except for this week.
Except for this week, I'm having 2 days of cheat day. So my wife is not really happy with me.
Why, though? Why? Not that you're cheating.
Because she always asked me to cheat, I say no, and then you ask me to cheat, I say yes. So,
oops, sorry,
that's kind of how it boils down. But anyway, I have tried the egg bites over there, which are keto, which are just like
Starbucks.
Yeah, so they're like little quiches
What
without.
were you doing in a Starbucks?
Getting something to eat really fast.
Okay, not coffee.
No. I'll drink a coffee over at Starbucks if it has milk in it.
Okay, that's fair enough. I would also say in a pinch, coffees, you know, from Starbucks is probably, with milk, going to be better than picking up something at a gas station or something like that. So.
Okay, there is more nuance in milk-based coffee drinks. If you're just drinking coffee as coffee, then
it ain't Starbucks.
It ain't Starbucks. Yeah. So yeah, if you're getting a latte, okay. I mean, it's not going to be the greatest one in the world, but it'll do in a pinch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I picked up a latte and got the little egg bites before, and they were pretty good.
Okay. So for this episode today, we're doing the top. What we narrowed it down to were the top 4 breakfast sandwich restaurants because one, I threw two in.
Okay.
Because I was a little kind of taken back by the number one. And we'll just talk about this. What I did was I went through, had to be 7 or 8 different lists of the best breakfast sandwiches, the best, from various restaurants. And there were 5 restaurants that came up consistently, which were McDonald's, who's represented today.
Yep.
Burger King, represented today. Whataburger, believe it or not, showed up more than I thought it would because I still think of that as more regional, but it did all right in these lists.
They've expanded. They're kind of like Bluebell ice cream.
Yeah.
They've expanded to more areas than you think.
And I equate them to a little bit like In-N-Out. It used to be just a California thing, and now they're in a lot more places.
And you and I hold Whataburger in a higher regard.
Much higher.
So we'll see what happens here.
But I will say, over the last couple of years, since Whataburger kind of sold to the conglomerate in Chicago, they've fallen down a notch or two for me. I can say that in quality. And I'll get into a couple of things about that. And then the last one that made our list today was Wendy's, who is new to the breakfast game.
They're more of a newcomer, but I've heard a lot of good things.
I've heard a lot of good things, and I will tell you, I've never had a breakfast item from Wendy's.
From a couple of people whose opinions I actually respect, have told me their breakfast is sleeper the best out there.
Okay, so that's on the list today. I will tell you that one that was consistently rated pretty high, unfortunately, we're doing this on a Sunday and could not purchase any of their products, was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, on a Saturday, when I take a break from my diet, one of my naughty things I like to eat is the chicken burrito. That
has the potatoes and the chicken and the egg.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And then you hit it with a little Chick-fil-A sauce too.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that I've had the Chick-fil-A breakfast, a few of their items. And honestly, I'm a fan of their bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Just a classic kind of breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very good. Their biscuits are very good.
I actually say their little hash brown rounds are really nice.
Okay, I prefer a hash brown, call it a tater tot bite, whatever, over the big kind of crispy McDonald's kind of.
I'm kind of with you on that because you get more surface area to get crunchy.
And I feel like you get more activity, more bites out of it than, I can devour a McDonald's hash brown in 2 bites and I'm done.
Yeah.
Shame on me.
I'll say this. Well, okay, yes. I agree with you on that. Now, my favorite version of hash browns is more like the Waffle House hash browns on a griddle.
Oh.
I
totally agree. Then now we're getting to a diner type of breakfast. Yeah.
I'm kind of going off the rails a little bit here, but I'm just saying that where you get all the crispy all over it, that's really good.
I'm trying to think of the fast food restaurant that does the sticks. It's not quite the little bites.
Burger King does.
I think that's who it is too. Yeah, I don't eat it a lot, but I prefer a stick too.
The stick is
where
nice
I get
for dipping.
4 or 5 of those versus good for if you like ketchup on your hash browns or
I do actually
sour cream maybe or something.
That'd be my wife. I bet I can see her doing that. Russian, of course. Healthy dose of potatoes and dairy.
So the way we did this today was, I thought as I looked at these lists that, it might be just because I like a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I thought that would be head and shoulders the best sandwich from each place, their version of a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. It wasn't. As I kind of looked through all these lists and kind of tallied where things fell and tried to figure out which is the best ones, those are the sandwiches we came up with today. And what we have represented from each restaurant is the number one sandwich overall.
Yep, at that restaurant.
On all these lists that tallied to be the number one sandwich in America, the number one breakfast sandwich was the Egg McMuffin, the classic Egg McMuffin.
I believe that because it's so iconic.
Is it the best sandwich or is it just the most purchased?
Probably the most purchased.
That's kind of how I feel about that because I'm going, look, I eat that and I don't mind it. It's not a bad sandwich, but I eat it because it's less calories than the
controversial
the bacon, egg, and
statement here. I like the sausage Egg McMuffin better than the Canadian bacon version.
That showed up on a couple lists.
Okay,
so it made.
So I'll also say this. And a lot of people may have a very different opinion than me, but I actually think an English muffin is highly underrated.
Okay, so when you say underrated, meaning it's not utilized enough.
It's not utilized enough.
So other than
It's
McDonald's,
nice and spongy, like just in
can
general,
be crispy edge. You
You
if
can
you
get a
toast
crispy
it right.
edge, spongy. You could put like some jam on it. Like it's
Hey.
a nice little thing.
It's the classic vessel for an eggs benny.
Yes.
So
I started thinking about this a little bit as we're talking here, and the English like a lot of air in their bread. Like
Not a bad thing.
If you think about like a Yorkshire puddings, I don't know if you've ever had those or not.
No, never had.
Like, have you ever seen the breads that like just like have big pockets of air in, and then they like really towering tall?
I don't think I have.
Okay, I'll show you something after we get done here. But they love that, and they do a traditional like Sunday roast.
Okay.
In England, and a lot of times they have like a gravy, and so you have these really big puffy breads,
And that gravy gets nice
and you can fill the puffy breads with the gravy.
You're speaking my language.
It's pretty good stuff.
It sounds good.
Anyway, English muffins, I think they are really nice.
Because to your point, I can't think of another fast food place that uses an English muffin flavor.
No,
Only McDonald's.
I don't think many people just use them except for on Eggs Benedict once in a while.
It's a good point. I do like an English muffin just with the breakfast. Just toast it, butter with some over easy eggs, some bacon, some hash browns. I'll take an English muffin over a piece of toast all day long.
So a little inside baseball for the listeners here. We did have brunch this morning.
Yep.
Before recording this, and I was very, very, very much considering doing a crab cake Eggs Benedict, but then I changed kind of last minute and did what we did. And I'm glad I did, because I kept seeing your posts about crab. You did like crab cake Eggs Benedict yesterday, and it could have been, it would have been terrible.
No, it wouldn't have. No, it wouldn't have. You think I wouldn't have enjoyed that 2 days in a row?
Yeah, but I'm glad I didn't give you the same breakfast 2 days in a row.
Wouldn't have hurt my feelings, my man. Who doesn't like crab eggs Benedict?
I mean, that's delicious. But
It's kind of a high-end breakfast, right?
But yeah. Oh, hollandaise on crab cakes?
And I make my hollandaise homemade. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah. Well, you showed me how to correct a broken hollandaise one time.
It's a little trick. Yeah.
That is a good trick.
So sandwiches. You want to know what we have in front of us? So
yes.
From McDonald's, we have the English muffin, and I just had to get a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit because I think that's their best sandwich. I threw it in for me and you for comparison reasons. I just wanted to have it in there.
I actually like the McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese. I haven't had one in a hot minute, but like I do remember liking it.
Yeah. And then from Wendy's, never had their breakfast, but what showed up as the most popular breakfast sandwich from them was the Baconator breakfast, this is a loaded beast. I mean, this thing is, if you've heard of the Baconator burger, it's the breakfast sandwich version of that.
Well, people, I don't know if you've looked at, and we should probably have another version of this with burgers, to where we go and get the.
Well, that's definitely on the radar to do, on the list to do, for sure.
But the Baconator is ranked as one of the better fast food burgers out there.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised that it's good. And I actually like it that it's kind of loaded. Like I looked at it, and I kind of like that it's loaded up, but it's on just a simple bun rather than a biscuit, because I think that's going to play well for that.
We're going to find out.
Okay, we'll see.
And then we have from Whataburger, we have the just classic bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Okay.
The difference here is every place I can think of, big branded fast food places, scrambled eggs is on their.
Yeah.
They don't. They do a fried egg, break the yolk, fry it on both sides to cook it through, and that's what goes on your sandwich.
That might be good.
So it's a little bit different with the egg component of this bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
I like that.
And then we finish up with Burger King, rated very high, but it was their fully loaded. This is in direct competition with the Baconator.
Okay.
Because this is the fully loaded Corrisan'which, which is going to have ham, bacon, and sausage on it.
Whoa.
And so I would not order this going through the drive-thru, but this is what rated the highest from that place. So we're going to give it a shot and kind of see if visually we like the way it looks, and does it meet the expectations from the visual to the actually tasting the sandwich.
I think I would have liked to included Chick-fil-A in this,
I would have too.
but I will say that we've hit the big ones.
I think so. I think other than Chick-fil-A, who rated pretty high, consistently other ones that were on the list were a Sonic, but they were not in the top 5 consistently.
Is
Jack in
Sonic
the Box.
everywhere?
Sonic's everywhere.
Okay.
Jack in the Box 2 had a sourdough breakfast sandwich, which intrigued me because I am a fan of their sourdough burger.
Sourdough, yeah.
But again, not consistently in the top 5.
And Jack in the Boxes are leaving this area pretty fast.
Are they really?
Yeah, I've seen several close around
I did
here.
not know that. Did not know that.
Yeah. So anyway, it might have been a struggle to find one.
So out of what we have today, I'll just be transparent and let you know my favorite, what I think is my favorite, would be the McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit and the Whataburger bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
So do you? Let me ask you a very specific question.
Yeah.
Do you jelly a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit?
I have never done that, but I'm not opposed to it.
Okay, I always jelly it.
Okay.
But I want to eat it as is today.
Okay. So you put like a little grape jelly on it.
A little grape jelly.
Is
on
that
it.
a per bite, or do you take the top biscuit off,
I take the
lather
top
it
biscuit off.
So it's fully lathered in grape
Yeah,
jelly.
yeah.
Grape or strawberry, doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter. I think I prefer grape.
And do you do this because the biscuit's too dry and you need some lubricant on there?
I think so.
You need to slide down a little easier?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little less effort.
Just saying,
Yeah. I do like on a biscuit. Like, I really do like on a biscuit being able to, like, have a little jelly on it. I don't know what it is about. Because, like, I think there's a magical thing that happens with a biscuit, butter, and jelly.
I don't disagree with that. I just never thought to go further and add in the bacon, egg, and cheese. So a biscuit, butter, and jelly, I love on its own. Bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, I love. I've never thought about the combination. Not
I would
opposed to it.
definitely recommend trying it.
I'm not put off by it, by no means.
Okay, so
So if you had to say your top 2, what would it
I
be?
think the Baconator is going to rank high.
No, not what you think. What are you going into? Because I'm going to tell you, I have a perceived that I like McDonald's better and Whataburger better. I'm going to tell you right up front. Will I change my mind after tasting these? We'll find out. But do you have one or two that you go, I just know I like these?
I bet to me, I've never had the BK fully loaded Corrisan'which, but like I love a croissant.
And I like the Burger King Corrisan'whiches. I'm not opposed to those.
That one I would think that would rank high, and the McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese.
Okay,
because to me that's a sandwich that if I'm out and about and I've got nothing else going, like I don't have a diner in the area. I don't have something to get a better, more elevated breakfast.
Yeah,
something I'd go to.
You bring up a good point about the Corrisan'which, though, because I've had plenty of Burger King Corrisan'whiches, and my disappointment always is the amount of meat and egg on the Corrisan'which. I feel like it's just not enough in between the Corrisan'which.
Okay.
So this could remedy that. This could play well for me because it's fully loaded. This may be my way to go when I go to Burger King. We'll find out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, like I haven't had a lot of these sandwiches, honestly.
Same.
I know the McDonald's, like I know the Egg McMuffin well, and I know the bacon, egg, and cheese at McDonald's well. I've had the Corrisan'which, just not the fully loaded version. I've had a Whataburger bacon, egg, and cheese before.
Been a while.
Been a minute.
Okay.
And then the Baconator, breakfast Baconator, maybe I had one time. I remember liking it, but it's been a long time. And then what else we got up there?
Wendy's.
I've never had. Well, no, I had. I think I had the Baconator once, and the Whataburger bacon egg. Well, I guess I talked about that. Yeah. So I've had probably the most I've had is the McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah, that would be the most I've had, followed because I do like a McDonald's breakfast. I'm not a big fan of their burgers anymore, but their breakfast I think is pretty solid, and I think it's a pretty good as far as diverse menu to pick from. But that followed by the Whataburger, the two I've had the most. I've had breakfast from all of these places. just not in a while, and specific sandwiches, not the Baconator, not the fully loaded. So that'll be interesting to see how that comes out.
Okay, so how do we begin this?
We begin by you telling the folks what this badass cocktail is you made me.
Oh, okay. So I actually made like a just a regular standard old fashioned. Instead,
Bullshit.
Well, okay. I made it's an elevated old fashioned.
Yeah.
So instead of using bourbon, which I believe is traditional in an old fashioned, I used rye. I think rye just kind of adds a little bit more spice to things.
Yeah.
And when you start adding water, rye punches through a little bit more. Now, I will say there are some bourbons that are really good in an old fashioned. So, like, I'm not dissing on that. This is just kind of the way I went today. I made a Demerara syrup. So, the traditional old fashioned, you actually use a sugar cube. You soak the sugar cube.
Pure sugar.
Yeah, pure sugar. And you soak the sugar in Angostura bitters, and you muddle it, and then you make your old fashioned. I actually prefer, because the problem is the sugar doesn't necessarily dissolve in all of the drink. And it ends up getting at the bottom and being a little bit too sweet at the bottom for me. So I made a Demerara sugar, simple, and use that, an orange, Angostura bitters, the Old Forester rye, the 100 proof, and made that up as an old fashioned. Put it over a big rock.
Put a stamp on it.
Garnished it with a orange and
the orange peel and a Marciano cherry
and a Luxardo cherry.
Yeah, absolutely delicious. Punches above, buddy. This is and I said I wasn't trying to blow smoke up your butt.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
This is one of the best old fashions I've had.
It's the drink everybody should know how to make.
Yeah, well, and to me, it's that balance. We always talk about balance and everything, where you get enough of the alcohol with the sugar, and then the complement of the orange and the cherry, that everything is recognized in the drink, but enough of the alcohol that you enjoy it, but it's not just overpowering. Same with the sugar. It's there. It's got this hint of sweetness, but it's not overpowering. And you did a really good job on the balance of this drink.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cocktail world is fun. And I did this I made this cocktail on purpose because I know Rob here really likes an old fashioned, and it's one of his go-to brunch cocktails. So I decided to make it. Yeah.
And you know what? We've never done a show on cocktails. That might be something that needs to happen.
Definitely need to do that.
Yeah, a little fun show.
Definitely need to do that.
We've got some friends that are, some that are mixologists and some that are just, deep down the rabbit hole of cocktails at home.
Oh, yeah. And I could honestly see myself, like I'm kind of skirting, around the cocktail. I make a few... know enough about a few to do them well and everything. But doing a deep dive, boy, I could see myself getting into that.
Well, I could too. That'd be a rabbit hole. Your wife would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, she loves
the good
all
news
the
is
rabbit holes.
you have a good start, and depending on which cocktail you're making, you have a good start on the whiskeys you would need. So you're not going to have to spend a lot there.
I know we talked about this, and I mentioned this, but I could see like the nerd level of coffee spilling over into the nerd level of cocktail.
I could see that as well.
And I don't see that being a bad thing.
No.
You could be everybody's best friend.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I see with a cocktail, the problem is that, when you have a dinner party, it's making it 10 times. Learning how to batch make a cocktail is probably going to be critical to these kind of dinner parties that you might want to share.
I think that's better for a party with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Batch making cocktails. But if it's just, 4 people hanging out, there's nothing wrong with this. Hey, what do you want?
Then you're the bartender.
Yeah, I love playing bartender. And I have a nice bar to do it.
Absolutely, you do.
So,
all right. You get to set the lineup on how we're going to taste
Okay, let's do that. Okay, so just so everybody is behind the veil, we got these sandwiches this morning, just warmed them up really fast in the oven. So we wanted to do them as much justice as we could. And
we wrapped them all in foil and got them to where they warmed up equally.
Yeah, they actually might be better.
Could be.
But anyway, they're cut in half. So we're gonna go, I think, one by one, and
we'll go one by one.
I think we go one by one. We have a bite.
We'll talk about it.
We talk about it.
You can have more than one bite, and then we'll
do a final sweep.
Yeah, we'll give our opinion on this one. We'll save in our minds kind of how we're ranking them until the end, and we'll reveal.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah. So we're gonna start with the Whataburger.
Okay.
This one's still warm. It's nice. I'm going to put my mic right here on the table. So hold on, everybody. Sorry if you hear some noise. Okay. So here we go.
We'll take a bite, and then we'll let you know what we think about this one.
Okay.
Okay, looking at it, what do you think?
I like the way it looks.
You see that egg that I was talking about?
Yeah, I like that. I actually really like that.
Looks almost like a hard-boiled egg a little bit. It's cooked through.
That's cool. And my dog is naturally right here next to us.
Of course.
Okay, let's take a bite.
I was going to cheers you, but I guess not.
Sorry. Okay, this sandwich doesn't suck.
I agree. I think the egg with this works. What I do like is there's plenty of bacon. Sometimes you always you worry about getting cheated a little bit on your meats. That's what she said.
And, my wife never says that.
But the egg, look at the surface area of the egg, and it covers perfectly. Every bite you're getting bacon and egg.
Yeah.
The biscuit is good. It is that, drier, denser biscuit, but I can see where you just can't get. I can't get jelly out of my mind now. I may have to have
jelly be really good on this.
A little spoonful here in a little while and throw it on there. But
yeah,
all in all, I thought this was a solid breakfast sandwich.
I actually think that the biscuit is, yes, it is, denser and all that, but I will say this: the whatever butter they put on top saturated pretty well through the biscuit. So that helped it.
Absolutely agree. Yeah. Solid start. This is Whataburger, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Let's move. What are we moving to next?
Okay, we're going BK next. Okay, I'm just randomly grabbing the ones off the table.
This is a fully loaded Corrisan'which.
This thing is hefty.
Okay.
I will tell you off the bat.
Fully loaded, it should be. It looks pretty hefty.
Okay.
Man, that's not a bad looking sandwich, I will say.
No, it isn't. Wow. Okay.
Okay. Doesn't look as big as I thought it might. It looks like the bacon is just one piece, very thin. The ham, same thing. The sausage patty, not that big. But I will say, all in all, could work. Because it's not too much of anything, but a little of everything.
Yeah, this looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think they did 2 cheese levels on this one. So
looks
I think
like
you have
between
bacon, cheese,
yeah,
and then another layer of cheese.
That could be bonus points there.
All right, we're going to dig into this, and we're going to let you know our initial thoughts.
Let's see what we think. Okay, fully loaded Corrisan'which. Thoughts?
It's good. Like, there's a right amount of salt in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's why, like, on the we started with the Whataburger, I think, right? Or
Whataburger.
Okay, on the Whataburger, I'd say I wanted the jelly because I wanted some kind of other flavor component to it to kind of just elevate it a little bit. On the Corrisan'which, you need nothing.
Yeah.
That is like the salt is right, the gooiness is right.
Here's my thought. On the Whataburger, you heard me talk about how dense and kind of dry the biscuit was, where it made me think about the jelly component that you mentioned. The thing that's nice about the Burger King sandwich is the bread is perfect. It's not this dense, heavy bread. It's a croissant.
Yeah.
So it's not the world's best croissant, but the bread doesn't overpower. It serves what it's supposed to. It's 2 pieces to hold everything else together.
Yeah.
And what shines in this sandwich is the bacon, the ham, the sausage working harmoniously together with that egg and cheese, it's a very nice bite of breakfast.
I actually like this.
I do too. It leapfrogs the. If I go to Burger King, this is probably what I'm going to order. This is a good sandwich.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I will say, I went the classic route. That this is, you get one of each meats.
Yeah.
They did tell me when I went through the drive-thru that you can put the 3 meats any way you want. You can have 2 sausage, 1 bacon, 2 bacon, 1 sausage. You can have one of each like I did. You could have 3 hams. You could do the combo of meats whenever you want. I'm not disappointed with this. I don't know if I would change it up. If I did, I would probably go sausage and 2 orders of bacon. I'm a bacon guy.
Yeah, I like that. I wonder if it'd throw up the salt level a little bit. So I think as is, like
pretty good.
Bacon, ham, and sausage.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I think the ham is what gives it that proper saltiness.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Okay,
next.
And we're keeping a running tally in our heads of where these fall for us.
We're going McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese.
Bacon, egg, and cheese. Okay.
All right. So open this guy up. And let's see what you got.
I will say that the biscuit looks airier and better right out of the chute from the biscuit from Whataburger.
It does. It's fluffier.
Yeah.
For sure.
As far as aesthetics, it's a prettier sandwich.
It is a prettier sandwich. More egg.
Much more egg.
Yeah.
That's a good, more than a 1/4 inch thick piece of egg, which, that's the star of the biscuit, right? The egg. So.
Agreed. Yeah, I like the way this looks a lot better.
All right, you ready to dive in, see what you think?
All right, see you guys back.
Okay. I've never had your jelly play, but yeah, I can see where it might be appropriate on a biscuit.
Yeah. So I'm going to say right off the bat, because this is more of a fair comparison versus the Whataburger, the biscuit is far superior.
Yeah, it's not even close in my mind. The biscuit it's still a biscuit, so it's that drier, denser kind. But this is, if you will, airier, lighter, easier to eat than the Whataburger one was just so much more dense and kind of gummy.
It's a more pleasing bite for sure.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is a strike against it. I would have liked the amount of bacon that's on the Whataburger to be on there, because I feel like this is kind of lacking in salt.
Yeah, I would say if you could take the bacon from the Whataburger and put it on this sandwich, that would be the only adjustment. And then this would be the perfect sandwich.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And I've known that for a while about McDonald's. They're really cheapy on the meat.
Yeah, they are. But the egg is really nice on it. It's actually takes the whole bite, like you've got egg all over it.
And it's a nice piece. It's a big piece of egg.
Yep.
So
I'm definitely in on this sandwich though.
Yeah.
I think this is like you're gonna find a McDonald's everywhere.
Yeah. I was wondering if I was, overthinking, not overthinking, but my thoughts were wrong about how much I like this sandwich. But this is good to compare it because it's a solid sandwich.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
I'm not going to put you on the spot yet, but it'll be interesting when we get all 5 on here.
Yeah.
See how they all compare to one another and where they fall.
Yep. Okay.
Right, what do we have up next?
Next, we're going to go, we're going McDonald's again, and we're going to go the McMuffin.
I'm glad we're doing that back to back.
Kind of break it up.
Well, and really see what McDonald's has. We're comparing them to the other ones, but we're comparing them McDonald's to McDonald's as well.
Yeah, I like that. So
here it's an egg McMuffin, but here we changed the egg. Instead of the scrambled, now we are getting that kind of, I don't know if
it's not like a poached egg, but it's kind of like a fried egg.
Cross between that. It's almost a poached fried egg.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I think I like the sandwich, so we'll see what happens.
I'm okay with this sandwich. I would say that my preference wouldn't be the Canadian bacon.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I'd go sausage.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I do eat this sandwich. Aesthetically, looking at it, it's not the most appealing sandwich. Could be just the one we got. Maybe they just didn't do a good job of
it's not
putting it together. But
I do like they toasted the muffin though.
That's so important.
Yeah. Like because you see toast on both sides.
Yes.
So they put that thing on the toaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dive in.
Let's do it.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that bite?
As I'm swallowing here, probably my
She said.
probably my least favorite of all the sandwiches we've had so far.
Okay, I went to you first because I'm of the same opinion, and I didn't want to just throw that out there.
Not enough salt. It's very bland.
Very
to me.
bland.
I don't mind the texture of it, but like it's just very unseasoned to me.
It tastes like it's supposed to be a healthier version, and it is, than the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I talked to you before about I eat this sometimes because I go, okay, I save 150 calories. I'm going to get this. And it's not a horrible sandwich, but it's, to your point, it's not a very flavorful, it's not a pleasing sandwich. I'm eating this to kind of put some food in my stomach, not because this is an enjoyable bite of food. It's not a horrible bite of food, but it's not making me smile.
I'd agree with that. Like if I ordered this, ate it, I'd be fine, but I wouldn't walk away like happy.
I'm not telling anybody to go get the Egg McMuffin.
No.
And here's what's crazy to me, and you and I talked about this a little bit. Is this a sandwich that is the most popular because it's just purchased the most because people might be a little more health conscious? Or do people really think this is the best sandwich? Because ultimately this ranked number 1 in America for the top breakfast sandwich. And I'm trying to figure out the criteria. How did it get that? Because to me, it's not even close.
I bet with sausage it would be better.
I would agree.
It'd be saltier, more flavorful, more meaty.
And that version of the sandwich made a couple lists. Just wasn't high enough to get it here. This was the sandwich that...
Okay.
The classic Egg McMuffin.
This does not have enough seasoning.
Yeah. And again, this is one place we got it. Maybe they just didn't, whoever put it together didn't do it right. But
all right, next we're going to the one that I think might be the showstopper.
I'm excited for this.
We're going to the Wendy's Baconator sandwich, right?
Yep.
Okay, so here we go. Ooh, this thing looks good. I'm not gonna lie, this thing looks good.
The first thing that jumps out to us is it's not your traditional breakfast vessel as far as bread.
Yeah, it's using a bun.
Yeah.
Kind of rather than the biscuit or a muffin or something like that.
My biggest disappointment looking at it right from the start is the egg.
Yeah, but I like the meat quantity on there.
The meat is solid, but this looks like I'm wrong. This is actually a fried egg. It looks like
it does look. It does look like
so
one.
That could account for it looking a little thinner.
I think it's got a hamburger patty on there.
Is that a hamburger? Is that not a sausage patty?
It might be a hamburger patty.
Well, they said. Well, it just said fully loaded. I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll look that up, but I can tell you the cross section looks really nice,
and aesthetically, it's a good looking sandwich. And the play might be the hamburger bun with a breakfast sandwich, where that biscuit is so dense and heavy. This might be the play
where you need the jelly.
Well, you need the jelly. Here,
you might need the jelly. Okay, let's dive in.
Okay, here we go.
All right, note to self: if I'm ever in a random city and I just need breakfast, that Wendy's Baconator thing is good.
I said when we started this, I've never had a breakfast from Wendy's. We don't eat breakfast like this very often, but when we do, I will be searching out a Wendy's.
It's just a great bite.
It's a great sandwich, yeah. There's something on there. It's almost like a mayonnaise or something. It's not butter. There's something on there that works, that gives it this kind of lubricant that you talk about with the jelly on a biscuit that is needed. It works.
I'm pretty sure it is a sausage patty too.
Yeah, I think it's a sausage patty, yeah.
But that is great.
Wow. All right. How hard is it for you to rank these?
Not.
Yeah, I'm going to sit back here, and we can talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, good call. Man, I mean, one of them, like two of them are like head and shoulders.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that, all the lists that you look at that call the Egg McMuffin the best sandwich in America for fast food breakfast sandwiches, I'm going to debunk that right now and tell you it's in last place on my list. I'll just start there.
Yep, me too. I do want to go through and take a bite of every last one of them.
Okay.
To give my full ranking.
I'm glad I stopped on that Baconator because I was about to finish that bad boy.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll just stop that.
Where do you want to start? You want to go in the same order?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Well,
let me ask you
let's
this.
talk about the sandwiches a little bit, and then we'll do a final.
I want to see if your rankings right now, with just this tasting that we did, and then we'll go through and taste and see, do they change?
Yeah.
After another bite through.
So Baconator.
Well, let's talk about them. What do we have first? We had well, go ahead and do your worst to first.
Worst to first. I'd go the McMuffin worst, the Whataburger bacon, egg, and cheese. I do
That'd be fourth.
McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese third. The BK Corrisan'which
Second.
loaded second, and then the Baconator first.
We are exactly the same. I mean, no surprise. But
Yeah, I mean seriously, like
yeah. As much as I thought I liked Whataburger, it's not as good. There's better options out there.
Oh yeah. Now I don't know. Like we start doing burgers, maybe things.
I'm talking about breakfast.
Yeah, but for breakfast, like if that's the case,
yeah.
If we're rating them on these individual sandwiches,
which are thought to be the best they offer. These are thought to be the best that the restaurant offers.
Man, I mean, Wendy's is super underrated.
Underrated, big time.
I mean, unless I'm just not following enough stuff, And
here's the funny thing. When I went to pick all these up today, I went to Wendy's. This was 9:15 in the morning. Nobody in line. Drove through, got my sandwich. I went to Burger King. Nobody in line. Went through, got my sandwich. Went to Whataburger. Several people in line, had to wait a ridiculous long amount of time, and finally got my sandwich. Went to McDonald's. Ridiculously more people in line. Said, screw it. I'll park the car and go in and get food.
Okay.
Which was the play.
Okay.
And
usually is.
Yeah, got my food. But my point there is that the two that we think are the best on a Sunday morning had no traffic as far as people wanting to order their breakfast, where the other two that we thought weren't as good had lines waiting to get that breakfast.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Is it marketing?
Yeah.
Is it just sample size? People, Wendy's new to the game, and so they don't know it. Does Burger King just have a bad rap?
A lot of people grew up with McDonald's.
Yeah.
So you have to factor that in. Routine,
what you know?
Well, I mean, you could relate it to the whiskey world. Hey, my dad's a wild turkey guy. That's what I drink.
Well, hopefully this episode is helping people maybe branch out that have been eating McDonald's. We're going to go try this this Baconator.
I will taste through this entire thing again, but I can say, like right now I'm ready to have an episode where we put BK, Wendy's, and Chick-fil-A against each other.
That might be the play to do, because we weren't able to include Chick-fil-A because it is a Sunday.
Yeah.
Maybe we come back and, we give them the buy, so to speak.
Yeah.
And throw them into a 3-sandwich, bite off with Burger King and Wendy's on a Saturday.
Do we put a Taco Bell in there? Because I've heard it's highly rated.
I think that's the play.
Yeah.
These two, here's what we do. To be fair, we're going to call this round one with these sandwiches. We're now going to do Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, Sonic, and we'll find one more.
Versus BK and Wendy's.
The two best out of those four.
Oh, okay.
Then will be version 3 of the episode to
I like that.
crown the champion.
We could do that sourdough jack.
There you go.
Or the sourdough breakfast jack.
Yep, we'll do the sourdough. We'll do Chick-fil-A. We'll do Sonic. And we'll do Taco Bell. We'll do those 4. We'll see the best 2 out of those. And then the 4 in the finals will be these 2 versus... Well, we say these 2. We better take another bite, but I don't think it's going to change.
No, I don't either. But we will give it its fair due.
Absolutely.
Man, I'll say this, man. Breakfast sandwiches have become a thing in my life recently. I love a bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich.
At home?
At home.
Yeah, I agree.
So what I do, just, we're kind of going off track, but, we do that once in a while.
Every so often.
Yeah. So what I do is I whip up some eggs, throw them in the pan like you would to scramble them, throw the bread on top of the eggs.
Yeah.
Let the eggs cook to a certain level, flip them, fold. The egg is stuck to the bread. Put in some cheese and some bacon.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
So what's your bread?
I like a brioche.
Okay. That's high. That's high end. That's fancy. You're a baller.
Well, I think a brioche is nice for the density. It can soak up the egg. I like brioche. Something I considered cooking this morning was some French toast.
Oh, yeah.
And that has become something that I actually like now. I used to think sweet breakfasts sucked until I started making brioche French toast and then creating my own cinnamon sugar and sprinkling all over
Little scrambled eggs on the side.
I actually am a bacon guy on the side.
Okay.
I like a little salty with my sweet.
Yeah, a little. I can see that play for sure. I would actually, when I have syrup, I prefer sausage over bacon with my syrup.
I kind of like bacon, but like I could get on the sausage train.
I'm the reverse of that. I like sausage, but I could get on the bacon train.
But I will tell you, make up a cinnamon sugar. Get just regular white sugar. Just
cinnamon.
Hit it with cinnamon.
Mix it up.
And then when that toast is hot, you just sprinkle that cinnamon sugar on top. And it gives you a crunch when you have a bite of French toast.
Yeah.
Dude.
My vessel now is I've gotten into bread making, so I make my own homemade bread.
Okay.
And so whether I'm doing...
I always knew you would.
Yeah, breakfast sandwiches or, any kind of toast or anything, it's homemade bread, and then toasting it with either butter or olive oil. Like yesterday, I made the eggs Benny with the crab cakes. I didn't have any bread. It was an impromptu thing because of the night before we had the...
Yeah.
I just took some whole wheat bread. I took a biscuit cutter, cut out circles, buttered it up, toasted it real good, and that worked.
But, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So our hopefully one day friend of the show, Josh Wiseman,
now a resident of Houston.
Yeah. I think he built his new studio kitchen in Houston too.
Yeah.
So he has a French toast. Like he does it 3 different ways. He does one that I would really, really like to try. He does French toast in a casserole dish, and bakes it almost like
whole pieces of bread, not like a French toast casserole.
No, like he's got chunks. I think in
almost like a bread pudding, but it's a French toast kind of bread pudding.
Yeah, and cuts that up and makes it. That sounds really good.
That could work. Yep.
I could see that playing. Another thing he does is like a Nutella filled. Okay. So he makes his own bread naturally because he makes his own everything.
Sure. It's the way to do it.
Cuts that bread, like he's able to make a slit in the bread and pumps the Nutella into the French toast.
Oh, wow.
Then he does it French toast style.
So note to listeners, if you're not watching Joshua Wiseman on YouTube.
He's great. He should come on this show sometime.
And by the way, that's an episode I'd like to do with you. Our favorite YouTube channels.
Okay.
Talking food, wine, and whiskey.
Yeah.
Kind of an episode talking about our favorite YouTube channels. That'd be fun.
Can we add golf?
Our favorite YouTube channels.
Okay. Doesn't have to be food, wine, and whiskey.
Well, I think the golf channels you might be talking about are into food and wine and whiskey.
That's true. So, okay.
There you go.
I got you. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
But Josh Wiseman, you guys, I've never met him before. Nice. Seems like a cool guy.
Yeah.
Great cook. He is a fun channel to watch.
Yeah.
In fact, he did something that I think you would like. Just one last off base thing. He made the easiest pizza dough that he can make.
I don't think I've seen that episode.
Yeah. So he makes like
same day dough.
Same day dough.
Okay. I'll check it out.
You need to check that out.
All right, you want to go through these one last time?
Let's do it one last time. Give them their fair due.
Okay, we'll take a second. Let's take a bite of each one. We'll come with our final ranking. I don't think mine are going to change, but we'll see.
I don't think mine are either.
And then we'll close out this episode.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's do it.
So what's interesting about this is you go back and do this again. Mm-hmm. After a few minutes, sandwiches that hold up, that tells you a lot about them.
Yep.
You know, after a few minutes, they've cooled down.
Yep.
Are they still enjoyable? Have they lost something?
Yep.
The sandwich I had in the bottom, which was the Egg McMuffin,
Was trash.
was trash. It was tough to eat after a few minutes.
I didn't even like, the bite that I took. I was like, this is so bland and so
hard to, that Egg McMuffin, or the egg muffin. English muffin.
English muffin.
It got tough.
Yeah, chewy almost.
Chewy. I don't know, and I'm not dissing on English muffins. It just may not be a quality one is my point.
Yeah.
Other than that, the other 4 sandwiches held up after a few minutes.
Yep.
They ate about the same as they did the first time. They didn't get worse. The Egg McMuffin got worse.
Agreed.
Other than temperature. Obviously they were a little cooler.
I will say this. There was only one tough decision here.
Yeah. I would say the bottom 3 stayed the same, which for both of us, I'm speaking for you, Matt. Egg McMuffin, then the Whataburger.
Yep.
And then McDonald's is in the 3-hole.
I feel like the Whataburger, like the biscuit was gummy.
Yes, that's what I would say. It sticks to the roof of your mouth.
I didn't like that.
I
I felt like the Whataburger, like, I don't know what they did there, but it was just gummy and kind of tough to swallow.
Yeah, it took a minute to get it down.
Like,
this is the beauty of doing this is that, you don't think about that when you just order a biscuit and drive off. But when you're comparing it to something else like we are today, you really get to evaluate and critique it a little bit more. As much as I'm a fan, I'm a Texan, I'm a fan of Whataburger, I don't know that I would order this breakfast anymore. There might be something else on the menu, but I'm not getting the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Yeah, same here. The McDonald's, I think, here's my opinion. Like, 4 and 5, there's a real gap between, like, 4 and 5 and 3.
Oh, agreed. It's not even close.
Because I think McDonald's, the biscuit is quality.
Yeah. It's kind of like on the golf course when somebody says there's a Walmart between our balls. It's that far apart.
Yeah. My buddy Brendan says that to me a lot.
So,
but then I say mine's in the fairway though.
Oh, that matters.
Cool. Your Walmart's over in the forest. That's good.
You got to take a dirt road to get over there.
But anyway, I'd say the biscuit at McDonald's, very good.
Best biscuit. Egg, very good. I mean, it's Kraft cheese, meltable, good cheese. The big issue I have with McDonald's,
not enough bacon.
Not even close.
If they up because my biggest thing with the McDonald's, and this is my biggest point of contention across the board, my biggest thing on the McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese, it's bland.
Yeah.
And I think if you add more bacon, you're adding more salt,
Agreed.
And then you make that
and bacon flavor,
and you make that sandwich much more balanced.
I agree. But they're not going to change anything if they're selling the crap load out of them and making money on it.
Well, I'd order that sandwich again.
In a pinch. I will tell you that it usually is on a road trip or something. I look for McDonald's because I feel like that's the safe play. And it's still a solid sandwich.
Yeah.
My opinion after today's episode has changed.
Me too.
So let's go into the top 2. Can you position them as number 1 and number 2? How hard
can.
Is it hard?
Yes.
I agree.
I would say both the BK and the Wendy's, they're very good. They're very good sandwiches.
Head and shoulders above. what
there's
had.
no question. Like when you say there's a Walmart between things, like there's a Walmart between 4 and 5 to 3, and there's definitely a Walmart between 3 and 1 and 2.
I would say there's a Walmart between 3 and 2, and then another Walmart between 2 and 1.
Yeah.
A lot of Walmarts in this episode.
The BK sandwich is really good.
Yeah.
I 100% order that again.
Agreed.
If I were in a pinch and I couldn't find anything to eat, and you've got Burger King or McDonald's, and I'm going for breakfast, I'm absolutely going for BK.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, BK, obviously one of the legacy restaurants, right? Fast food restaurants. Been around a long time.
One of the biggies.
Yep. I don't think, after this, they need more love for their breakfast. If this is an example, I mean, just this sandwich, what you get on this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So the other versions of what this could be can't be horrible. They've got to be pretty solid. So BK probably needs some more run, some more love for their breakfast game.
I think the one that I've gotten before has like bacon, egg, and cheese Corrisan'which. And I remember thinking, that's really good.
I remember liking them. I just remember thinking there needed to be more to it, more egg.
Well,
more
then
meat,
you go to the fully loaded.
Then you go
route.
to the fully loaded, and you hit a home run.
But I got to say, my favorite is still the Wendy's. And I'll tell you why I think my favorite's the Wendy's. There's something, like there's some sauce or something on there that just makes it better.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's more moist or something like that. And
that lubricant helps.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
But it does. I mean, there's something to it that that one bite is like everything you want.
Well, I'm going to say that. So, I've always been of the opinion that a breakfast sandwich is a biscuit. After today's experience, I have changed my mind. I think the croissant or the hamburger bun, if I went back to Whataburger, they offer a version of their sandwiches on a hamburger bun. I would go that route.
I wonder if it'd be better.
I wonder. I think it's lighter. It's airier.
Yep.
It's easier to eat and get down. Plus, I think the egg, meat, and cheese shine more. And so the vessel, the hamburger bun on the Wendy's Baconator, breakfast Baconator, along with what you said, that sauce makes it the winner for me. The sauce is what puts it over the top from the fully loaded Corrisan'which. If that Corrisan'which had some kind of sauce on there, it might be a tie.
Yeah. It's real close.
Yeah, agreed.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
On the McDonald's,
bacon,
egg, and cheese. Say you didn't do the bacon. Say you did a sausage, egg, and cheese.
I think that's the play.
I think that
it's hard to skimp on sausage.
I think that might test better.
Yeah, even if as long as you're okay with sausage, you're slightly favoring bacon, but you're okay with sausage. I think at McDonald's, sausage is the play because you're going to get a whole patty versus them skimping you on the bacon.
Yeah. You put that on that biscuit, it could get up there.
Well, here's the other thing I would say is I'm going to, in the future, take your lead. And when I get a biscuit from McDonald's again, and I'll try it, I'm slapping some jelly on there, and I want to see how that plays.
Oh, the jelly elevates.
Because the lubricant on this, whatever this sauce was, and it could have been a mayonnaise. And mayonnaise is fine with me. People might go, mayonnaise? It's just fat. It's just flavored fat, So I'm fine with that. It's some type of mayonnaise-based sauce. I didn't get a lot of any identifiable flavors or notes in there, so I think it's just some kind of mayonnaise. But I think that is a must on a breakfast sandwich. I would say going forward, thinking back now, what is the thing I like least about breakfast sandwiches is they're so dry.
Yeah.
And so to your point of slapping some jelly or something on there, that's the play.
Yeah, and a very thin layer of mayonnaise, I don't have an issue with at all.
Something I make for my son is scrambled eggs with cayenne pepper.
Yeah, okay.
And then when I'm done making them, I put them in a bowl. And I put 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. I mix them all up, and it's his favorite thing. I learned it from a friend of mine, Brett Walters, if you're listening.
Okay.
Got that from you years ago, and it's a play that's stuck around in our house. So that's why I have no issue with mayonnaise on a breakfast sandwich. It's something we've had in our house for a while.
Well, I don't hate mayonnaise in general.
Yeah, quality mayonnaise, Dukes or
Dukes or maybe the Kimchi
Japanese
or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I'd say. Yeah, I mean, there's really on this table of on this comparison, 1 and 2 are just clearly better.
Yeah. The Wendy's and the Burger King are head and shoulders above the rest. And, it'll be fun. And I would call this the A flight. I can't imagine that the B flight, the Taco Bell, the Sonic, the Chick-fil-A. I mean, Chick-fil-A's the outlier there. The Chick-fil-A and the, what was the other one we threw in there? Sonic.
Jack in the Box?
Jack in the Box. I can't imagine they're going to outshine these two, but we will see. I to be honest with you, you know what I have the most hope for? That Jack in the Box sourdough. I feel like there's going to be some kind of sauce on that.
I do too, and it might be really good.
It could be really good. So it'll be fun. We'll do that episode here in the next month or so and try to get that out, and then we'll follow up with the championship round of breakfast sandwiches.
And then
we move on to burgers.
Well, hold please. Then you and I make our own breakfast sandwiches and run them up against the top winner.
Well, we'll do this. We'll have 2 guests on.
Okay.
And we'll make our version of our ultimate breakfast sandwich. We'll serve them. They won't know whose is whose. And then they'll just judge and grade and pick their 1 and 2.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I love a breakfast sandwich.
Got a little series going on here.
Yeah, I love a breakfast sandwich. I'm really a big fan.
Agreed. On the go, or just going and picking it up on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning after a night out or something you don't want to cook. There's definitely a place, and a good place, for the breakfast sandwich.
Hey, Sandwiches of History guy, do you want to come down here and get on this episode?
Have you ever seen him do? And if you guys, by the way, if you get good call out, because if you've never watched this guy on Instagram,
oh, it's so good.
Search him out. Sandwiches of History. Check him out. He does a great job. The premise of the show is he finds all these old cookbooks that have sandwich recipes in them, and he will make the sandwich exactly as the recipe calls for, try it, give you a score, a grading on it, and then he will plus up the sandwich. He will do something that he thinks will make it better, and then after doing that, grade it again and see if it actually elevated the sandwich. Great channel to watch on Instagram. But have you ever seen him do a breakfast sandwich?
I don't think so.
I've seen him do sandwiches with eggs, but it was like an egg salad.
Egg salad or something.
Something like that.
Also highly underrated sandwich.
Agreed.
Had one yesterday.
Nice.
Yes. But of course I put bacon and tomato and...
You elevate it.
Yeah, I plussed it up.
Yeah, you plussed it up.
Well, this has been a great show. I really enjoyed this. Opened my eyes a lot.
That's what it did for me. It really opened up my eyes to what I thought I preferred and liked. You heard me say it at the beginning that I thought Whataburger and McDonald's were my 2 favorites. Acknowledging I hadn't had the other ones, but I've missed out for a while because those other 2 sandwiches are clearly way better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
Yep. Well, thanks everybody for joining on this episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey. And until our next episode, enjoy your next pour.
Cheers.